Anthony Davis unfortunately suffered a non-contact injury on this play in just his first game as a new member of the Dallas Mavericks. And in this video, we're going to take a closer look what exactly I think could have happened here and how much concern Dallas Mavericks fans should have for their newly acquired player. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Brian Sutterer, and the goal in this channel is to teach you more about the medical side of the sports world. Now, I hate this for Anthony Davis. Of course, the narrative with him has always been that he's very fragile, that he gets injured a lot, and unfortunately, it looks like we've got another non-contact injury in just his first game as a member of the Mavericks. Now, remember that Davis had been coming off of what was officially listed as an abdominal strain, which sounds like, you know, a strain like we saw with Paolo Banchero, maybe the oblique, your typical kind of ab muscle injury. But based on where Davis grabs and the non-contact, non-twisting nature of this injury, I'm concerned it might be something a little bit more serious, or his old injury was more than just a run-of-the-mill ab strain. So number one important thing to see here is that this is non-contact. Davis, we saw him grabbing kind of down on his privates, but there was no contact or impact onto his groin. We see just here as he's backpedaling, he goes and steps outward. That right leg is going to be out in abduction, that left leg in abduction. And so this is going to put some strain on the groin as he's hunched down, contracting his ab muscles. But again, you see him grabbing for that groin before there's any chance for any contact. So this would be non-contact, which is unfortunately more concerning. Notice here as Davis is walking off the court, he's not grabbing his abdominals. He's not grabbing his core. He's grabbing down lower near his privates, which is nearer to the area that I'd be concerned about an injury here with Davis. Now we'll look at our anatomy and talk about why I think this could be a little bit more than just a muscle strain in the abs. But first, I want to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video. Today's video is sponsored by Grüns. The start of the new year is the perfect time to take better control of your health, and Grüns is going to make that extremely simple with their daily comprehensive nutrition gummies. Grüns is a comprehensive daily gummy that comes in individual packets featuring 8 gummies and makes getting your daily nutrition simple and delicious. The most important thing for me with any nutritional supplement is the ingredients. And Grüns puts in the hard work to feature 100% of the safe vitamins, minerals your body needs, and only 25% of the ones that at too high of levels can actually be harmful for you. No more excuses about complicated pills and powder. With 8 individual gummies in each convenient serving packet, when you taste these things, it's gonna taste like you're eating fruit snacks. They are so darn delicious. And right now, Grüns is going to hook you up as a viewer of this channel by clicking the link down in the description or scanning the QR code. You can get up to 45% off your Grüns order. The gummy form makes them more bioavailable, and you can rest assured knowing that Grüns has put in the hard work to make sure you're getting what your body needs on a daily basis. So kick off 2025 by taking a step to not only make your health more comprehensive and simple, but also really darn delicious. Thanks again to Grüns for sponsoring the video, and let's get back to our learning. So if we go back here and think about where Davis is grabbing, if there was contact, yes, you'd be worried that he got hit below the belt. There was no contact, and so there's not like this is just a shot below the belt that he's going to recover from in a few minutes and be just fine. This was non-contact, but the anatomy with where he's grabbing is closer to the area of something like a sports hernia or more of what we call a core muscle injury. When Davis is cutting in and playing defense here, remember how I mentioned that there's a lot of that side-to-side movement. So that side-to-side movement where he's backpedaling, his right leg is going out, his left leg is out. His legs are in that abducted position, which is going to put your groin muscles in a stretched position while you're trying to shuffle to the side, and is going to also load the adductors, the adductors, the groin muscles, and those groin muscles insert in the front of the pelvis near where you can have what we consider a sports hernia or a core muscle injury. So if we go down and look at our biodigital anatomy tool here, we're going to zoom in on that region. Now, of course, the traditional abdominal muscles we think about, you're going to have your obliques, you're then going to have your external, your internal, we're going to hide all of these, and eventually we're going to get down to the abdominis rectus. The abdominis rectus is what gives you that six-pack appearance. It's the muscles that have that striation, that six-pack appearance. And what's important about those abdominis rectus muscles is that they insert all the way down here on the very front of the pelvis at the pubic bone. So right down here, we're going to hide some of these ligaments. This is your inguinal ligament, very important for structure and stability of your pelvis, kind of can be implicated sometimes with a true like inguinal hernia. But this location right down here where the rectus abdominis inserts into the front of the pubic bone and the adductor longus muscle comes up to insert in the pubic bone is the location where you will get what's called a core muscle injury. Now, a sports hernia is where there's weakening of this fascial layer that can sit right here, and that can cause pain. But a true sports hernia is going to be bulging, kind of weakness in that area. A core muscle injury is going to be an injury to this abdominal rectus sheath as it comes down onto the pubic bone and where the adductor sheath comes up. This model doesn't show it very well, but there's actually this continuous abdominis rectus sheath that goes across that area, and that structure can get torn, and we consider that a core muscle injury. Not technically a sports hernia, it gets called sports hernia. If you hear sports hernia, there is an important distinction there, but this is right at the area where Davis was grabbing. Oftentimes these individuals with these injuries will have more true like groin, pelvic pain than just pain up in the abdominals because of where that is. That's right down in the very front in your privates, right where Davis was grabbing. The addition of that side-to-side movement that he had is why I raise concern about this, because that brings into play these adductors, and those adductors and the abdominals, that continuous chain right through here being activated at the same time, is what implicates this area for an injury. Now, the question is, was this the same type of thing that Davis had been dealing with before? This is not a super uncommon injury. We see it a lot more in soccer, people that are doing side-to-side, that kicking across their body. So the question is now, was Davis's original injury more true like muscle strain, like, up here in the abdominal muscles, or was it something going on in this area that has now been made worse? Injuries to this area can sometimes require surgery. And so if this is an exacerbation, or even if it's just a new injury in this area, these can be multi-week, multi-month absence injuries that can require surgery. They're not career threatening, but if this is in fact the area of concern, he's re-aggravated it, there is a chance that this could be a significant absence and potentially a surgical type of injury. So we've got to pay really close attention to this. So now if we go back and we think about our play, we think about that anatomy, remember here, as Davis is going into play defense here, those legs going out to the side, that abduction of the thighs is going to bring into play the adductor muscles at that insertion on the pubic bone. He then goes, his abdominis is crunched over, he's forward flexing at the waist. That's when he then goes and grabs right at his private area in that region of concern. The fact that, again, as he's coming off the court, we don't see any grabbing at the abdominals, we see grabbing down below the belt, raises more concern in my mind for that location, which again, right here on the anatomy model, the abdominals inserting down on the pubic, transitioning into that aponeurosis with the adductor. So, to be determined here with Davis. This could be something serious and certainly a re-aggravation, but important to distinguish that anatomy between your typical ab strain and a sports injury, sports hernia, core muscle injury in that whole region down in the groin. That's it for the video. Thank you as always for watching. Let me know questions or comments down below. And until next time, we'll see you later. Bye. Thanks again to Grooms for sponsoring the video. Remember, click the link down in the description or scan the QR code to get up to 45% off your first order.